Welcome back to Cartel Tycoon. We're playing on the version 1. This is the full release, not the early access anymore, and this has a lot more to offer. We're playing the story of needs and tears. We have made some small progress in the first episode, building our residence, and with that residence starting to build some production, we're producing some opium here and transporting it through that port. We've also made a few researches and we're going to continue to do that. Actually, let's make one right away. We're going to continue increasing our river pier that we're using to transport our goods by increasing our storage capacity to make sure that this is not full. And now we continue the story where we're going to recruit our first lieutenants. You go into our residence and we can click here to recruit lieutenants. For now we have 3 slots at any time, not a 4th one. We could re-roll to get new lieutenants, but that costs us a lot more legal money than what we have. Obviously, we're gonna want lieutenants that we think are gonna be good in the future. We have Vanessa here, Tony, which has a power of 4, so quite strong, and Hahiga with a power of 2. We're going to definitely take Tony, which has a power of 4 right away. It's gonna help us in the future. And then as you can see, I can unlock a next one in 20 days. This is quite in a while, so I don't want to wait 20 days. So let's recruit another. We have the choice between those two. Both of them have a power of 2, but there's definitely 2 differences. The first one is that Vanessa is happy when the terror is quite high, is here in the middle, versus I like to keep my terror quite low. The second is she also has this ability, Infamous, where she creates terror being in a city. So that's not really great, right? That's a negative ability. Versus this one doesn't have a terror preference, and it doesn't have this negative ability. So let's recruit him for now. If we click over here at the bottom, we can see all of our lieutenants. We can see their dedication. For example, this one is dedicated. There's different ways to increase their allegiance. One simple one is just to increase their upkeep. Right now they're free, I'm not giving them money. So if I start to give them money, as you can see, the dedication is increases. You can move to loyal if I give him a lot of money. There's also other ways, for example, being in the right tier level, also doing quests and things like this. Right now we don't have a quest for this one. Let's check for this one, no quest either. We will keep an eye on that because obviously we want to actually do those quests as soon as we can to also be potentially able to upgrade them in the future. But for now, we'll just follow the mission, which is we are going to increase the allegiance of one of them by increasing their upkeep. And I'm going to increase this one because he is a bit lower. And with that, what will happen? Nice house we got there. Who is that? This is Miguel Angel, aka El Virunas. If you've done the tutorial, you may have seen him mentioned there. I love what you've done with the place. Only Cesar recognized the voice. It's nice to finally meet you, partner. Please call me Miguel. Okay, I'll call you Miguel. Okay, so he's happy that we have hired people. Every lieutenant has needs, money or power. As I said, we can increase their money, how much we give them, or we can increase their power. If we don't, they're going to be unsatisfied. Then we'll have to either kill them or deal with it somehow. Okay, the business is growing, so must our supply. There's a seaport in Puerto Roja, owned by another gang. Gather your strongest lieutenants and let's take it from them. You're coming. No, he's not coming. If you select again your lieutenant list, we have Miguel that's here now. He is 1, so we could use it in a fight, but really not that strong, versus our 5, 3 and 4. So let's use all of these. We can select them all in the lieutenant list and then click on this move lieutenant to move them all over here. And this way we can see our combined power of 12 against the power of 3. So we're gonna win, that won't be a problem. Coming, this one is fast, but anyway, he's our strongest, so that's fine that he arrives first. This is 12 against 3, so we're winning quite quickly, but we're starting to create some terror. This is every time you do a fight, you're going to start some terror, so we have to be careful about this, because if we reach this one, police is going to look for a building that's overflowing and then arrest it. If we get there, the Federales will block a road more and more until we get here where the US Army is just going to destroy everything. Like they arrive, they bombard everything. And almost there, done. We have captured it. The seaport is painted red. I don't know, blue is my favorite color. Have you seen Miguel? He left orders for you to begin establishing a supply chain to the seaport. Yes, and we're gonna use a workshop. Yes, custom officers, they check any cargo that goes by road or sea, so we must smuggle them in legal produce. Why do you think he's looking for a new partner? Because his former friend was left holding the bag. He's now inside, meaning in prison. You should be careful, mi capo. Oh, Tony, you're so nice to me. Are you my mother? Have some faith. We have work to do. So yeah, one quick thing I wanted to show you is that if you have a small river pier like this is small. This doesn't take a lot of capacity. But you can send illegal goods, it won't be a problem because we basically run it. Versus for a port like this or big airport, this is not run by us. This is run by the government, right? And we're just sort of using it. With it, you can carry also a lot more, as you can see, right? For example, opium 104. But if we sell illegal goods, people will notice it. So our terror is going to increase once more, like when you're fighting. So what we need to do is we need to hide illegal goods into legal goods. For example, we can put our opium inside vegetables. We hide it inside. Don't ask me how. And so that's what we're gonna do now. We have sort of finished upgrading our river pier level 1. We've done those 3 research. This one is not accessible right now. We need to be friend with the military commander, the general, before we can do this one. Now, as I said, we just unlocked now a seaport, which is a bigger sort of transport to transport both illegal and legal goods. But if we look at this research, it's a lot more expensive, 14,000, almost all of the legal money we have. And frankly, also this one is not super interesting. I mean, 4 lieutenant slots, I'm not there. This one would be slightly more interesting to decrease the upkeep. But again, this is 9,000 on top, so this is way too expensive. We don't have a checkpoint right now, so no point looking at this one. We don't have an aerodrome either, so no point looking at this one. But we do have a few others over here. In particular, here we have the farm where we could increase the volume of production, right? This is quite good because that means for the same sort of upkeep, for the same space on the map, we're going to increase how much we produce and therefore how much we sell. This is 1,000, slightly more expensive, but still something we can do, I think. Let's do it. In particular, because if you look here, I can sell now 39 every 3 days. I'm only selling 33. That means, you know, we can sell a bit more. We can produce a bit more. Let's dive into the next piece, as I said, where we need to start making some vegetables to hide this new production. If we take one of our farms, we have here in tier 1, the opium, the vegetables, and the coffee. We are now going to make vegetables. What I do want is to avoid taking the great opium space, right? This is really great prime real estate for opium, so we're not gonna make it there. We're going to make it somewhere else. For example, over here. They're asking only 2 for now, so let's make that. We also need a warehouse. I'm going to put it a bit more in the center to make sure that, you know, this is in range for all of the farms wherever I put them. It doesn't have to be right next door. And we need to connect, as always, with the road. Okay, and so this is going to start delivering a bit of money to build it, and it is, this is done. Before we move on to the next mission, time for another research. 700, we definitely have that money. Let's do it. It will increase the radius of our warehouses, but more importantly, it will unlock others that I really want. And now that we have the vegetable, let's make a bit more opium to go inside that vegetable. They suggest 2, so let's do that for now, but then we can update it the right number later on. And while this is being built, we can see also the vegetables are starting to be produced. This is a very different sort of time, because this is 5 days to make 15, versus remember this was 14 hours to make 3, or initially 2, now 3 with the research. And of course, we're gonna need to start to manage at some point those different cycle of productions. Another research right away where we can increase the number of trucks that we have per warehouses, which is indeed especially good now that we're going to have different types of resource moving around. So let's do it, and we are almost done producing first vegetables. This transport company here is dedicated for that one, it's a bit also further away from this one, so they suggest for us to build another one. We don't technically really have to, but In this case, I think this is a good idea because we are going to be able to just also specialize this one to what we want. And what we want in this transport company is actually not to transport any more opium, but to transform our vegetable containers, right? So that means vegetable with something in it, in our case, opium. This is the only thing I want this transport company to do. Other things can go into the warehouse, but this transport company, this is what they'll do. And we're going to connect that to the Seaport. But now comes the really interesting part is we need a workshop to basically put our opium inside the vegetable. Let's put it here, delivering some dirty money as always into it. Now the opium and the vegetables will be delivered. As you can see here, this is 3 opium for 1 vegetable. And there's also a time, right? This is 8 hours to make one of these. So based on the numbers, we can start to optimize. We can start to optimize to use this stuff efficiently. And basically what we want is we want to reach a high uptime, right? We want to use a workshop as much as possible, but at the same time, we also want all of this to not be full. Because remember, when this is full, you start attracting terror, you start attracting the police and all of this, even also other gangs. So that's not good. You want to avoid that. And this is basically the key thing in the game. You want to optimize your production chain. You want to produce a lot, right? Because you need to make profit to pay for your upkeep. But at the same time, you shouldn't produce too much. You can't overproduce because otherwise everything gets full and you get into trouble. So now we have the workshop and we're starting to produce opium inside vegetable. That's going to be delivered into this transport company. We can see we have one here already. And then when this is done, this will get transported all the way into our seaport when we actually start the seaport, because the seaport is paused for now. And here we can do the same in the seaport and say I only accept vegetables. Another way to optimize our production to make more money is, for example, this research here, where for the workshop level 1 we can improve basically its productivity, where instead of taking 8 hours to make something, now it's going to take only 5.6 hours. That's a pretty good one to do. Costs us some legal money as always. What it does mean is that, of course, if now I do a perfect production based on this 1-to-3 ratio and 8 hours, now as soon as this research is finished, this ratio is not good anymore. So we'll need to optimize again the production for that. Here it is, as you can see, only 6 hours now. Time to turn on the seaport. As always, we can use dirty money or not dirty money. We're going to use dirty money as always. I think this is what you should strive to do as much as possible. It does require to create a new connection over here, both again to send money, but also to take it back, because we're going to make money there for sure. So it is, we have some vegetables with opium inside and some money being sent, done, and we're going to have our first cargo, 4 days this time. Now, as you can see here, we have put one of the lieutenants and he's unlocking the slot number 2, which means that instead of being able to sell only 39, which is the maximum for one ship, now I basically have 2 ships. So I can sell more than 39 per 3 days, which means we can also increase our opium production. So it is, instead of 3, we now have 6 opium farms that are linked to this warehouse over here. This may be too much, let's see, but if it's too much, we can always pause one. We also have a new lieutenant that's available. He's not perfect because he has this infamous ability that I don't like, but he's pretty good on terror. This is where I want to keep my terror. He's free, has power of 2. So let's recruit him. And here it is, we have sold quite a bit through our port. So we unlock the next mission. You know, Cesar, I think we might have outgrown a humble home. Part of running a business. Speak plainly, Miguel. Very well. Sales through the seaport offer healthy profit, but we're paying through the teeth so that the mayor turns a blind eye. That's not good. This irritant wouldn't exist if we had control over the region. Comprende? I believe so. How are we supposed to take it from them? You'll be surprised how cheaply a politician values their people, my friend. We talk to them, I'm sure we can strike a deal. So indeed, we own this region, right? Remember, versus we don't own this one. We have some enemies here. We have here a mayor. This is under the control of the mayor. So this is dangerous. They may take money from us, all those type of things. So we want to take control of it. We're going to do that by talking to him, do a couple of missions, but that will be in the next episode. I hope you liked this episode. Don't hesitate to press the like button if you did, to share in the comments below, Any thoughts, questions, comments, love to hear about it, and I hope to see you next time.